Hello, I am Emily and I run Inkpot Press media services, and I have been asked by the amazing Hiho to do you guys an entry for their incredible Vlogmas, and here it is. I've brought you to my favourite place, which involves this tree just here. It is the subject of quite a few of my Instagram posts, and it is a couple of fields away from my parents' house, so I thought this would be a lovely place for you guys to hear about some top tips that I have about not going completely insane over Christmas when you have children and horses and dogs and all sorts of things. So my first tip would be to write everything down. I use this in my day-to-day life, whether it's Christmas or not. I have about 6 different notebooks on the go, and I quite literally write absolutely everything down. So whether it is how long to cook the turkey for, or all the jobs you've got to do over the next 3 weeks in the run up to Christmas, I would strongly suggest that you just get everything down on paper. Nobody on this planet can keep all the information that comes with organising Christmas, even without children and horses in their heads, and I for one certainly can't. So yeah, I write everything down, and it really does help because it sort of frees my tiny mind up to concentrate on work, which I know an awful lot of us have to do right up until Christmas, especially this year with us sort of leading in on the Friday when the 22nd and Christmas being on the Monday. It kind of doesn't give you much chance to finish work and start thinking about Christmas Day. So yeah, I write things down as I think about them, and I find that this really works. And also leaving lists for your partner, that's a really good one as well, although mine tends to ignore the lists. But anyway, yeah, delegate, get other people to do stuff. We're not all superheroes and we can't all do it all ourselves. So yeah, definitely delegate and write things down. They would be my first 2 top tips. And my next is for those of us who have horses, and I assume that there are quite a few who are interested in the equestrian world or who have horses of their own. They are incredibly time consuming, as we all know, and over Christmas I know a lot of people really relish the chance to just kind of have some time off, and to be honest, I'm sure the horses would love it too. I am a bit of a pain because I don't like to give my horses time off just after they've come back from their winter holiday. So I have one who was off for most of the summer and one who's had 6 weeks off just chilling out and learning how to be a horse again. So I actually like to work mine right the way through, but they really wouldn't mind if I gave them a couple of days off over Christmas. And I think a lot of us compare ourselves to people who are very, very dedicated and who are the professional riders who we will probably see out on their Christmas hacks. But I can promise you that most of them will not ride on Christmas Day. It's the one day of the year that they give themselves off, and they let the horses just go out into the field or have a chilled duvet day in their stables. So I think one thing that we really need to do is be a little bit more gentle with ourselves and not expect quite so much on probably the busiest day of the year for 90% of us. So focus on eating too much, drinking too much. Get out early and do the horses in the morning, get them in a little bit later than normal. They really, really won't mind. And that would be my 3rd tip for getting through Christmas without going completely mental. My next tip is for those of us who have children as well as horses, the ones who are real gluttons for punishment. I suggest quite strongly getting the children involved if you possibly can. I know there's huge issues with safety and all that sort of stuff with horses and children, but I have found very much that as long as I'm very clear with my little boy, he absolutely understands what he is and isn't supposed to do. I find him all sorts of exciting little tasks in the tack room, so he's actually not underneath the horses anyway, or anywhere near them. Not that anyone goes underneath the horses on my yard except me, probably. But yeah, so I find him tasks to do in the tack room, like I say, or he'll sweep up for me once the horses are all in their stables. He used to love having his own pretend little yard where he would take real hay and hay the horses up, which was fabulous, especially when we had to clear it up. But if you want to spend your time with your family at Christmas, take them with you, get the little ones involved. It might be the only time of the year that you feel you can do it, and especially if they don't get dragged down to the yard every day, they might actually find it quite an adventure. And I know that Finn really does, he really does enjoy coming with me, because I don't tend to try and make him every day. But yeah, failing that, take their iPad. That's what we do. Take their iPad, or give them your phone, or keep them occupied some way. But you know, it's really important to spend time with family at Christmas, especially for us who work so hard, and those of us who don't get to spend as much time as we want. It really is important to sort of bookend Christmas and say, no, this is when I am actually going to really focus on spending time with the little people. So yeah, take them with you. It won't hurt. And my next tip is all about shopping. And if you're anything like me and you're not really a massive fan of crowds and people and all that sort of stuff, then Christmas shopping really can be a proper bind. And I don't enjoy going into towns anymore, especially sort of as towns have got busier and things have got more expensive as well. So I tend to do most of my Christmas shopping online. And actually this year, we're in the first week of December and I think I have 2 presents left to buy, which is just unheard of. But that's nothing to do with me being organised, because actually I'm not very organised at all. But it just means that you can sit down, and I tend to crack through most of it within a day or so. Get lists written again, write it all down, tick them off as you buy them, and don't go mad. Don't go mad. People, I'm sure, would much rather see you or spend time with you. But if you are going to buy things for people, there is one very obvious place to head to, and that would be to Hiho, because this sounds very conceited because I'm doing a Hiho Vlogmas. It's not at all. I have directed so many people to the Hiho website this year. There are literally gifts for everyone on there, and I am incredibly obsessed with my cherry roller that I fell in love with at Burley and bought for myself as an anniversary present from my husband, which is just brilliant. But I have a shopping list that's very, very long for Hiho, and their customer service is amazing. Somewhere else that is very, very good, it would be my absolute favourites, Mackenzie and George, who are able to offer everything for everyone when it comes to luxury accessories. So if you want to give something to somebody who perhaps has it all, they do personalisation on things, so you can have initials either debossed or embossed onto stuff. That includes belts, bags, key rings. Their stuff is absolutely beautiful. So if you don't happen to find anything on the Hiho website for your loved one, then Mackenzie and George would be my next stop, definitely. But my tip is absolutely shop online. There's no reason why not anymore. Delivery is always really quick. Yeah, so that would be another top tip. And finally, just some time-saving tips for the yard as well. I only have 2, well I have 3, but one of them lives out. He's very grumpy when he comes in, so he stays out all the time. But I have 2 horses, so I'm by no way an expert on this at all, but I have had horses for a very long time, and because I'm quite busy in my little life outside of horses, I have to sort of find the fastest ways of doing things so that I can spend as much time doing the important bits like riding, and I don't waste time doing the other things. So one thing, and I'm sure this is quite controversial, but I've recently swapped over to Fowl Pro rugs, and they enable you to leave them on all the time. So I take my horses' rugs off every day because I ride them, but you know, it's very important that you check your horses. But if you are looking for a time-saving tip, leaving an outdoor rug on a horse in the indoors is just, it's revolutionary really, because you turn up and you pop your head collar on and you take them out to the field instead of having to faff with hundreds of layers and all that sort of stuff. They come with liners, so you can really rug to the correct temperatures without again having to change the outer rug. So yeah, I would really suggest looking at brands that offer the opportunity to keep outdoor rugs on inside. I know not all of them are suitable, but like I say, my Fowl Pro rugs are my absolute godsends. I just love them, and my horses are always warm and they're actually really clean underneath them as well. I have 2 greys, and one of them is the most disgustingly filthy grey gelding you've ever met in your life, and if he can get poo stains on him, he certainly will. But if I leave an outdoor rug on, and it does make logical sense, then he doesn't end up stained. So that's really, really helpful, because then it means less grooming time, more riding time. So that would be another tip. Making up feeds, that's a very, very simple one, but if you have the facility to be able to make up feeds for sort of 2 or 3 days in advance, then again, that is a huge time saver. Again, the same with hay nets, or section up your haylage or your hay, so that if you're just feeding off the floor or in a hay bar, you can just literally pick it up and pop it in their stables, rather than having to fight with tons of baling string and all that sort of stuff. So just try and think of ways, sit down for 10 minutes and try and think of ways that you could save a little bit of time when it comes to your horses, and that will give you more time to either ride them over the Christmas period, because I know that that's quite a luxury for some of us who work full time, to be able to actually ride during the day over the couple of weeks of Christmas. So that's a super cool thing. But also to be able to spend some more time with your family. If your horses normally take you a couple of hours a day, try and think of the ways that you could just shave some time off that and get to spend time with your loved ones. So that is my Hiho Vlogmas. I hope I haven't rambled too much, and I hope that you've been able to take something from it. I was very, very honoured to be asked to do it, and would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.